What's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Relinquished deck profile. So I'm really excited for you guys because this deck is an extremely nostalgic deck that plays my favorite ritual monster ever created, Relinquished. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards, like getting your name description for every single video, getting a signed cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month you're a patron. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Relinquished. This card is an amazing boss monster to put on your side of the field. It was actually my very first card that I ever got. So this card is very awesome and my favorite ritual monster in the entire game. This card is a super simple effect that you can actually target an opponent's monster, equip it to this card, and then this card gains the attack of the monsters equipped to this card. And this card is just absolutely amazing at gobbling up your opponent's monsters, especially when you give your opponent a kaiju and just basically use that kaiju for yourself, which is just absolutely crazy. This card is really good as a 3 of in the deck and the main boss monster we're going to be summoning all the time in this deck. We then play 3 copies of Millennium Eyes Illusionist. Millennium Eyes Illusionist is a crazy powerful 3 of in the deck. It has a great effect, that quick effect, you can discard this card and then target an effect monster that your opponent controls and equip that target to an Eyes Restrict fusion monster or Relinquish that you control as if it was equipped by that monster's effect. And if an Eyes Restrict fusion monster or Relinquish is special summoned, you add this card from your graveyard to your hand, and it's a not optional effect. You must grab this card, which is amazing to instantly get this card back to your hand, so you can start equipping your opponent's monsters to your copies of your Relinquished and your Eyes Restrict fusion monsters. We then play just a single copy of Golden Eyes Idol. This card is really good as a 1-of in the deck, but you really only need a single copy of this card. It's great to be able to play in the deck because this card is an awesome effect that once per turn, quick effect, you can activate this effect to look at your opponent's hand. Also, this card's name becomes Thousand Eyes Idol until the end of the turn, which is a great effect to be able to use, and actually it's a super cool thing to Pegasus and Millennium Eye, where you can actually see what was in his opponent's hand, and I just love that about this card. This card is a definite 1-of in the deck, but you only really need a single copy of this card in the bill. We then play 3 copies of Predaplant Orthoscorpio. Orthoscorpio is amazing in this deck because this card helps us get our copy of our Cobra on our side of the field, and this card is great in this particular deck because if this card is normal or special summon, you can actually send a monster from your hand to the graveyard to special summon a Predaplant monster from your deck, which is always going to be your 1-of copy of your Cobra. Cobra is amazing in this deck to be able to summon to your side of the field, because this card has the ability that if it's special summoned by the effect of a Predaplant monster, you can add a polymerization card or a fusion spell from your deck to your hand, which is going to actually be able to search out a copy of Relinquished Fusion, which is an amazing effect to be able to use in this deck to instantly get to our copy of our Relinquished Fusion off this card, but it is a once per duel effect. We then play 2 copies of Magician Souls. Magician Souls is amazing in this particular deck because it's very easy to put this card on your side of the field, and it also helps you draw cards in the deck. This card is a great effect that you can send 2 spells or traps from your hand to the graveyard and then draw that many cards. And if this card is in your hand, you can send a level 6 or higher spellcaster monster from your deck to the graveyard to special summon this card to your side of the field, which is an incredible effect to be able to use with this card to instantly get it on your side of the field. We then play a single copy of Illusion of Chaos. Illusion of Chaos is a great 1-of in the deck because you can actually reveal this card in your hand, search out Magician Souls from your deck, and then put a card from your hand on top of your deck, which is a really good effect to be able to use, especially since we're playing cards like Preparation of Rites that can actually search out your Illusion of Chaos, making it very easy to get to your copy of your Magician Souls so you can put it on your side of the field. And the cool thing is you can actually put itself on top of the deck so you have the cost to special summon out your copy of Magician Souls directly from your hand, which is just a really good effect. We then play for our kaijus. We're going to be playing a single copy of the Thunder King kaiju because it's the biggest kaiju in the game besides our copy of our Star Destroying kaiju, which we also play a single copy of. You're playing these because you want to give these to your opponent so you can eat them with your copy of Relinquish, so Relinquish goes up to 3,300 attack points and helps you OTK your opponent. These are just really good 1-ofs in the deck because you can give those cards to your opponent and then take them back with your copies of Relinquish. We then play 3 copies of the Multi-Dimensional kaiju. Kaiju. This card is amazing because it is a dark, and it's a really good 3-of in this deck to be able to give to your opponent and then take it back with your copy of Relinquished. I really like this card in the deck, and it's a really good option. We then play a single copy of Gamma Seal. Gamma Seal is really good just in case we want to give our opponent a small Kaiju, and playing 6 in this deck seemed to be the magic number for me as I've been playing this particular build, and this card is just amazing in the deck to basically give your opponent a small Kaiju that you can get over extremely easily. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is really good as a 1-of in the deck, just to stop your opponent from hand trapping you while you're going in for all of your plays. We then play a single copy of Instant Fusion. This card is great because you can actually summon out your copy of Millennium Eyes Restrict or Thousand Eyes Restrict to your side of the field using this card, which is just an amazing thing to be able to do. We then play 3 copies of Pre-Preparation of Rites. This card is amazing because it can actually get you to your ritual spell, Black Illusion Ritual, and a Relinquished instantly being a +1. This card is definitely a 3-of in the deck. We then play 3 copies of Preparation of Rites. This card is awesome in the deck because it can actually search out your copy of Illusion of Chaos or your copy of Relinquished, which is a really good effect to be able to use with this card to get the exact ritual monster that you need to your hand so you can go in for your plays. We then play 3 copies of Black Illusion Ritual. This card is crazy powerful in the deck and actually lets you ritual summon out your copy of Relinquished to your side of the field, which is just amazing to be able to do. This card is definitely a 3-of in this particular build because if you draw into multiple copies of it, you can actually send it to the graveyard for your copy of Magician's Soul's effect, so you can actually draw additional cards, but this card is just amazing in the deck to be able to ritual summon out your copy of Relinquished to your side of the field. We then play 3 copies of Relinquished Fusion. Relinquished Fusion is a crazy powerful fusion spell. This card is an incredible card that lets you fusion summon an Eyes Restrict fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing the fusion materials from your hand, field, and or graveyard. And then during your main phase, you can banish this card from the graveyard and target an effect monster that your opponent controls and equip that target to an Eyes Restrict fusion monster or a Relinquish that you control as if it was equipped by that monster's effect, which is a really good effect to be able to use to basically just eat your opponent's monster and use it against them, which is just really cool. I love this card as a 3-of in the deck, and it's a card you always want to see, which is why I've included the package for the Predaplants in this deck so you can easily get to this card. We then play 3 copies of Super Polymerization. Super Polymerization is an incredible card in this deck because if you have a copy of your Relinquished on your side of the field, you can actually use this card to summon out your copy of Millennium Eyes Restrict, because Millennium Eyes Restrict only requires a Relinquished plus a copy of an effect monster to make this card, so it's very easy to use an opponent's effect monster and your copy of Relinquished to be able to make your copy of Millennium Eyes Restrict. And that's a really awesome thing to be able to do, is be able to basically break your opponent's board with this card. We then play 3 copies of Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. This card is crazy powerful in the deck because it destroys every monster on the field, and then it has the ability to special summon out 2 Kaijus directly from your deck with different names, which is why we play 4 different names in the deck, because it instantly gets a Kaiju to your side of the field and a Kaiju to your opponent's side of the field, which makes it really easy to then summon Relinquished and basically gobble up the Kaiju that you give to your opponent, which is just such a cool thing to be able to do. I love playing Interrupted Kaiju Slumber in the deck, and it's great to be able to break your opponent's board. You can also banish this card from the graveyard, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard to be able to add a Kaiju from your deck to your hand, which is great to be able to then search out an additional Kaiju to out another boss monster that your opponent might have on the field for the follow-up turn. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with 2 copies of Millennium Eyes Restrict. I have cut this card down from 3 to 2 from my last build, but this card is amazing because it just requires a Relinquish plus an effect monster to make this card. And once per turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can target 1 effect monster that your opponent controls or in their graveyard and equip that target to this card that you control. And this card gains attack and events equal to that monster's equipped monsters attack and defense, which is just such a cool effect to be able to use, and it actually gains attack and defense equal to all the monsters that are equipped to this card, which is just such a powerful effect. It also has the ability that monsters with that equipped monster's name cannot attack, and also their effects are negated, and their activated effects are also negated, which is amazing because you can actually stop hand traps with this card, which is just incredible. This card is definitely at least a 2 of in the deck. We then play a single copy of Thousand Eyes Restrict. I feel like 1 is totally fine in this deck. This card is amazing because it can lock down the field, and it's a really awesome nostalgic boss monster that you can summon in the deck. We then play, for some super poly targets, we're going to be playing a single copy of Mud Dragon. Mud Dragon is just amazing in this deck as a 1-up to be able to summon out with your copy of Super Polymerization. We then play a single copy of Garua. Garua is also a really good super poly target that you can summon to your side of the field in this deck. Then play a single copy of Starving Venom. Starving Venom is incredible in this deck as a 1-up to be able to put on your side of the field, and it's a really good boss monster to be able to make with your copy of Super Polymerization. We're then playing a single copy of Assembled Nightingale. This is so we can make Zeus with 2 level 1 monsters, and this card is very good to be able to make your copy of this card, attack your opponent directly, then make your copy of Downward on top of this, and then summon a Zeus to your side of the field and board wipe the field. We then play a single copy of Fortune Tune because we do play some level 3s in the deck, and being able to summon out your copy of Ortha Scorpio and then Darling Cobra actually makes a copy of Fortune Tune, which is going to help you step into a copy of Zeus extremely easily. We then play a single copy of Downer Magician. Downer Magician is so you can make it on top of either one of these monsters to give Zeus an additional material. We then play a single copy of Zeus just to board wipe the field. It's just a really good card to be able to make in this deck. We then play a single copy of Access Code. Access Code is just really good in this deck to be able to pop multiple cards on the field, and it's a really good boss monster to make in this particular deck. We then play a single copy of Selene. We do play quite a few spellcasters in the deck and a lot of spells, so this card is great at helping you step into your copy of Access Code extremely easily. We then play a single copy of Cross Sheep. Cross Sheep is really good in this deck because we do Ritual Summon and we do Fusion Summon in the deck. So you can actually get both of those effects off, which is amazing because if you Ritual Summon, you get to draw 2 and then discard 2. And if you Fusion Summon, you get to Special Summon 1 level 4 or lower monster from your graveyard, which is great to be able to use because it can actually help you step into your copy of Selene and then Access Code. We then play a single copy of Linkriabo because we do play a lot of level 1s in this deck. So this card is great to help you be protected from a battle. And then we play a single copy of Relinquished Anima, which is basically our Relinquished from the extra deck, and this card is amazing because you can actually target a monster this card points to and equip it to this card, and it gains attack equal to that monster's attack, and you actually get to pick where the kaiju goes when you give it to your opponent, so you can actually put it in a zone that this card will point to, make this card, and then you basically get to gobble up the monster, which is amazing. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. This deck is amazing to be able to play. If you guys have never played a Relinquished deck before, you should definitely give this deck a try because it's a super fun deck to play, and it's just so nostalgic to be able to summon Relinquished to your side of the field because it's just such an incredible boss monster. I absolutely love this card, and it's so cool to be able to base a deck around my first Yu-Gi-Oh card ever. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell there so you can become part of Notification Squad, and definitely comment down below what your first card was. Mine was actually Relinquished, and definitely comment that down below. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of Notification Squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.